special show for you. This is all about Gito's way. Today we're going to be talking about All American Healthcare Agency in the South Bronx. So today we got our special guest, which is Gito. Gito, the floor is yours, my brother. I have the understanding that you've been experiencing things with this agency and whatnot. I could relate with you, being that my mother, you know what I'm saying, also receives these special services. So I can relate with you, and I do understand, the how important it is to put the right people with our loved ones. You understand? Not only that, we got to make sure that our loved ones are being taken care of by people that are certified. A lot of times, these agencies just get anybody that they want and whatnot, and lots of times they're not even certified. I'm not saying this is the case with you. I'm just bringing it all around. You know what I'm saying? Just rounding it all up, because at the end of the day, things like this happen. Um, and definitely, Gito, I'm gonna leave the floor to you. I want you to let everybody know your name, let them know about your channel, basically what you represent. You know what I'm saying? And basically, we could touch bases on basically what you're experiencing. And but before we do that, I'm gonna run a clip of what you was experiencing. So just bear with me, guys. I'll leave the floor to you, Gito. In that meantime, before going into the subject, you can let them know who you are and whatnot, and then we'll take it from there, brother. While
All
I
right.
do my thing.
What's up, people? This is GITO from gitosway channel. The clip that Boy is gonna play is was me talking to the coordinator about issues that was I've been experiencing with different aides. All right, well, you can play the clip if you want.
All right, Gito. I got the clip. Yeah, I hear you. I'm just
All right.
getting the clip ready.
All right. All right.
You can't see me, but I can see you. Yeah, we got it. So I'm getting it ready for the viewers. This is a 16-second clip. It's basically Gito arguing with the coordinator, the healthcare coordinator at All American Homecare Agency in the Bronx. So what you're about to hear is basically Gito on the phone, arguing with the lady. So I'm gonna get this right now, Gito. There you go.
Get upset then. You alright? So go ahead, with the insurance. That's not gonna do nothing to me. Go ahead. Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Just do what you gotta do. Get upset.
So Gito, this is you arguing with the coordinator?
Yep, that's me arguing with the coordinator.
And she's basically arguing back with you. Let's pay attention,
Yeah.
guys. Let me turn this music off. Hold on. Let me turn this music off, and let's pay attention to the coordinator. Let me tell you something. When you're in a place of business, doesn't matter what type of business, you do not act out the way this person was acting out on the other line of the phone while Gito was talking.
Get upset. Get upset then. You alright? So go ahead, with the insurance.
Did I hear a curse word at the beginning?
I don't remember, but
It kind of sounded like F something.
She kept mentioning that she was getting upset. Get upset then. So that's why I told her that.
Yeah.
So go ahead, with the insurance. That's not gonna do nothing. Yeah, she was unprofessional. She was do what you gotta do. She kept saying, I'm getting upset. Do what you gotta do. Sad, something like that. Just do what you gotta do.
Wow, so she just kept rambling. So Gito, after that, what happened? After that,
I hung up the phone on her because the last thing that she told me before I hung up, oh, you being a tough guy. That's what she told me. And then I just hung up because I didn't want it to, maybe I'll say something that I might regret later. So, because she was unprofessional. I was yelling at her. She was yelling at me. We was just back and forth, and nothing was getting resolved. You know, because the issue is with the aid.
All right, Ito. So let's bring everybody up to speed, right? Because everybody's just listening to the bits and pieces. Okay. Now let's bring everybody up to speed. Why is it that you have a healthcare provider?
My mother suffers from Alzheimer's.
Okay, Alzheimer's. Okay. So this person that's there to help your mother with Alzheimer's supposed to be knowledgeable of what she's doing, correct?
Correct.
Now,
Correct.
being like when what experiences have you had with these homemades? So let's first start here with your most recent. Okay. What bad experiences have you had with this agency?
Well, it started 2 months ago, right? Because the pandemic happened, so everything closed down. So obviously, the home attendant was removed. When things slowly opening up, I decided to accept a home attendant 2 months ago. So when it comes, the agency that I'm with now, that my mother's with, is All American. The first two agency, I mean, excuse me, the first two aides that were at my mother's house, the first one, she did not change my mother at all. When I got home, there was a ball of urine. So my mother was like that basically for 10 hours straight. And I confronted her about it. Why you didn't change my mother? She said that she can't force her, that she can't force
So
my mother.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Gito. Let's just stop 1 second right there. You telling me that a bowl of urine
A ball
was
of
not
urine.
empty out, was left there for more than 10 hours.
Yeah, when you look at my mother from behind,
Right,
you
right.
could see a ball of the
Okay.
pamper, and it was urine, meaning that she didn't change my mother at all.
Okay, so it was in the diaper. Okay, so she
In the
ain't changed.
diaper, yeah, in the diaper.
Wow. It's really sad, brother, but continue.
I confronted the home attendant about it, and her response is that she couldn't force to change my mother, and that she felt bad. And I asked her, "How long you been a home attendant?" And she said 3 years. And I said, "Look, you telling me that you don't know how to change a diaper?"
So hold on for 1 second. Let's rewind. What's the name of this agency again?
All American agency.
You telling me that the All American agency does not know who the hell they sending over to their clients? In other words, they're not verifying their skills, their certifications, their qualifications.
Yeah, correct. Because I always ask a question to the aide that shows up. Have you dealt with patients with Alzheimer's? And it's always no. I don't have no experience dealing with a patient with Alzheimer's. And I'm thinking, why is the agency sending an aide
Right.
that has no experience?
This is unacceptable because at the end of the day, the coordinator is the one that's supposed to know who the hell they sending to whatever clients, because there's certain patients with different needs. So you basically can't just send anybody there. You know what I'm saying? With the proper qualifications. I mean, by you telling me this, that's what it sounds like. I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm saying though, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't make sense. And that what you saying right there, that her diaper was on her for more than 10 hours is unacceptable. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you like this: my mom has Alzheimer's also. That's why I can relate to you. Okay. We've tried every system possible. At one point, I even tried to take care of her myself. You know what I'm saying? But I was in a bad situation and I couldn't. But we managed to get the proper understanding and education on how to go about it. So what we did, we went to an agency. This agency sat us down, put us to watch videos. You know what I'm saying? Put us to send out certain verifications out to the state. Okay, and then would send us out with somebody for proper training. You understand what I'm saying? Because they could get sued, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Like if something happens to your mom, God forbid, or any patient in the world, bro, they could get sued. You understand? A lot of these things don't come out to the light because a lot of people don't care. When I seen this, I'm like, nah, this ain't right. But I'm sorry for that, my brother. I'll let you continue.
Well, 2 months ago, right? It was actually 3 home attendants before the permanent. So that this I was talking about the first one, right? And this is the first day. They were just sending temporary home attendants each day. So the second, oh well, after I confronted her, about not changing my mother's diaper, I spoke to her in an aggressive way. I didn't curse at her. I didn't threaten her. I was upset because I have to
You have every right to be. That's your mother.
And she left. She didn't even clock out.
So hold on. Whoa. I'm sorry to cut you, but I have to get. Remember what I told you, bro? Hold up. She left your mom unattended before you got home?
No. When I was confronting her, because I was aggressive, but no, I didn't threaten her. I didn't curse at her.
Okay.
I was, I put her on her spot for not doing her job.
But there was somebody taking care of your mom at the time.
That's the same home attendant that when I was talking to her.
Oh, okay. And she was arguing with you in your house?
She didn't argue. She just said, "Oh, I couldn't force to change."
No, but this was happening in your house where your mother's at.
Yeah, she was that. She was with the diaper for 10 hours. Yeah.
But right now in the conversation, was she arguing with you in your house while she was taking care of your mom?
No. She never argued.
The clip that I showed, was she in your house?
No, that was the coordinator of the agency.
Gotcha. Okay. So what happened after that? You asked the coordinator to change him?
She was only for that day. Only for that day. She didn't even get to clock out because I was aggressive with her. Because I was upset. She didn't change my mother's diaper. My mother, my mother was like that for 10 hours. She could have caught an infection.
You're absolutely right.
She just left. She didn't even clock out. She left.
So what came to this argument today? How did it all start?
That's why I'm trying to explain, what led to what happened today.
Okay.
So the second day, this is 2 months ago. The second day, a different home attendant shows up. My girlfriend, she translates everything in Spanish because these home attendants don't speak English at all. And I don't speak that much Spanish. So Nas is the one that always translate. Now the second home attendant, 10 hours later, when we arrive, there's nothing but feces on the floor. Right? Well, that means that she also didn't change my mother's diaper. And she didn't give enough food because I did find my mother gets meals from Rain, and I found half a meal in the microwave. So from there, I called the agency. I gave a complaint about what I experienced with the 2 home attendants. The coordinator tells me that she's gonna send the one that's coming tomorrow, which will be the 3rd, will be the permanent. So that woman, the 3rd home attendant, only did 2 days, because by the second day, I received a phone call from the coordinator that something happened on the first day. And I'm like, what happened? Because the home attendant didn't say anything to me. Or that the home attendant I just spoke to the home attendant. She said that my mother hit her, which is not true because I have about 6 cameras in the house that's connected to my phone, and I could check any time of the day, and it was false. It was false. And not only that, she left. I have a gate in the hallway to prevent my mother from going to the kitchen. She left the gate open, which my mother could trip over the gate. So she basically lied so she could get off the case, because not only that, the aides in your city are not obligated to stay on.
But you got the cameras. Did you catch any of this footage?
I did. I asked her at what time exactly that supposedly my mother hit her. She mentioned around. She gave me the time. I saw it. My mother.
I have a real important question. This person that was with your mother, that was unprofessional, did she administer medication to your mother?
No, they can't give. They can't give the medicine to patients. They can only just remind the patient to take medicine, which my mother's can't do that. My mother suffers 5 times.
So why is she there then?
The home attendant?
Yeah, because they didn't have anybody. I still don't get it. Like this person that goes to visit your mom is not responsible for the medication, right? Just take care of her.
Cook, clean,
That's it.
you know, because obviously she can. My mother's a high risk offender, so the home attendant cannot leave my mother by herself. So when it comes to grocery shopping, picking up the medicine, the rest of which is supposed to be the home attendant's duty, me and Nance, we do that.
Oh man, you know
So
this is sad. I'm sorry, bro, because we enraged. That's why you know what I'm saying. You talking and I'm jumping in like we enraged. And I apologize for that because this is sad all around. This should never happen. And now you telling me that you know what I'm saying over 10 hours. Like, come on, man. Like, and then the gate that she could trip. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like,
I saw from the camera.
what did the agency say to you basically after you express your concerns and you tell them, listen, I got these concerns. What was their reply?
When I spoke to the coordinator, and she's telling me, "Oh, that the aide just told me that your mother hit her." I said, "That's not true. My mother, she does yell. Yeah, when it comes to my mother, it's difficult to take care of her, but she does not hit. Um, she just the aide, I mean, excuse me, the coordinator threatened to call the insurance to change the vendor.
Well, yeah, okay, that's fine. So I see you're gonna have to go in through legal terms. And my advice to you, if you have all this documentation, video footage, everything that you saying you have, bro, get yourself a nice lawyer, sit down with that nice lawyer, and basically go about your business. Because at the end of the day, this is unacceptable. Because if it's happening with your mom, that means it's happening with somebody else's mom,
That's
somebody else's dad. You understand? Because that person right there doesn't have the skills necessary. You feel what I'm saying? To uphold a type of job like that. So
and
that's crazy.
this is not the same coordinator though. It's not the same coordinator. The first coordinator, like she said, that she threatened to change the agency. Basically, that's what she's basically saying. In other words, I'm gonna call that she's gonna call my mother's insurance and change the agency. And I'm like, based on what? You need to have proof that my mother hit the home attendant. You cannot just go what the home attendant is saying. You know,
I advise you to get legal help.
you know.
100%, bro. And let me tell you something. You don't need money for a good lawyer because once there's lawyers out there that you tell them your story and they're gonna feel infuriated like we are. You know what I mean? And chances are it'll be like, come on, man, I'm not gonna break your arm, but I'm gonna take care of you. As a matter of fact, when you get paid, I get paid. That type of thing. And once
Yeah,
they see the facts, once you show them the facts, bro, right there, they'll tell you straight out. Don't worry about it.
it
What's
was
up?
basically the home attendant's word against me. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. They're trying
And
to
I
protect
got
themselves.
yeah, and I got upset, and I told the first coordinator, you wouldn't like it if your mother or father was being treated like this. And she just told me, "Oh, but we're not talking about my parents." You know, that was
You're
her
absolutely right.
response. We're not talking about my parents.
I don't know,
So,
man. I mean, my mother's walking around with a diaper over 10 hours. I'll be pissed. And then
yeah,
complaint after complaint. And then with the same people, right? And different agencies and all that. This is
well, it's all
nuts.
American. Yeah, all
All,
American.
all American.
With the first
Wow, man.
coordinator, it was not going nowhere. It was just basically, oh, what the home attendant mentioned is, yeah, that's the truth, and that's it. So I actually yelled at the coordinator, to be honest, because it wasn't right. Because investigation is supposed to happen to find out
Right.
if it was true. And I'm
Of
telling them that
course.
I have cameras in the house that's connected to my phone that I could show that it never happened. But they're not trying to hear that.
All right,
It's
bro. Get legal help, my brother. That's the best advice. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a good experience with any home care services? Be honest, bro. I mean, let's keep it 100.
little,
Is
little.
there wow that is there any agency any that'll stand out to you that you be like, yeah, man, they did work out?
None. None. There was
Wow.
few here and there that that did their job, but overall it was the same results. It's always a aide that doesn't want to do a job and wants to do whatever, and the agency always backed them up. And this
Wow.
was the third
Agency.
the third aide from All American, and I end up me yelling at the coordinator. She hung up the phone. I actually called my mother's insurance. I gave a complaint on the agency,
Right.
and what happened that they changed the coordinator,
Right.
right? And another aide showed up, but I wasn't believing anything. I wasn't. I was like, when I saw the aide, I was like, I know this is not gonna work out. After the fourth aide that showed up that day, I received a phone call from the new coordinator,
Right.
and I got into an argument with her, which is the one that of the clip, right? And I mentioned what I experienced with the periods 3. Now, Nancy's, I take the phone call, I go outside, I'm, yelling at the coordinator for what my mother experienced with the agency. Nancy's explaining her duty, the home attendant's duty. And Nancy asked her the question, this is the fourth home attendant from All American. Have you dealt with patients with Alzheimer's before? She said no, but I'm trained. So I liked that. That was a good response. And with this fourth home attendant from All American, it was working out. It was actually working out. She was listening, like whatever we told her, what was her duty, she was following
Mm-hmm.
directions with no problem. And then maybe like a month later, there was a day that I showed up. No, well, a month later, a day that there was no milk to do the oatmeal. That's when things started to go downhill. She wasn't not following directions. She wasn't doing my mother's hair. She wasn't. Every time we would come to the house, it would smell like urine. She was only changing my mother's diapers a couple of times. Like maybe 2 times in a 10-hour span. That's too little. And it was just me, Nancy and I was always constantly telling her what she has to do as a home attendant. And it was weird because she would listen one day and then the next day she would stop. So with that fourth aid, what happened, to sum it up, we basically was on top of her to do her job, and she was doing her job, but now she left the case. She left the case because, like I said, she not. When it comes to the AIDS in New York City, they're not obligated to be on the case. She left the case because we was on her ass. We was on her to do her job.
That is just nuts, bro. I'm listening to this and it really enrages me. I know a lot of my listeners are being enraged by this. This is a topic that in reality a lot of people don't talk about. It's a topic that in reality a lot of people don't shed light on. And I feel it's necessary because we're not getting younger, we're just getting older. You never know if you'll be in that situation later on down the line. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But it's not right. You are obligated to take care of somebody. You're supposed to have certain certifications, and you basically not abiding by that, bro. And I'm sorry
Yeah,
that you have to do
yeah.
that, go through that. You know what I'm saying? God bless your mother. You know what I'm saying? We all send our love to you and your family because, I understand what you're going through. But my
Yeah.
advice, bro, to be honest with you, you could put a stop to a lot because right now, that same person that mistreated your mother is going to go mistreat somebody else, bro.
Exactly. I mentioned that, and
So you
I
could
spoke to
stop
the
that.
yeah, and I spoke to the manager of the agency about the home attendant that claimed that my mother hit her, and I exactly said what you just said. you know, you got to put a stop to this because she could do the
But
same to the next
I want
patient.
you. I want to stop you for 1 second, my brother. When
All right.
they assign people to, like, let's say people with Alzheimer's and like that, these people are trained. These people know that their hands are gonna come out swinging. You understand what I'm saying? They know this because that's what the illness does. That means you need somebody professional. And depending on the grade of it, then maybe they need two people there. You understand what I'm saying? That's just the way it works, bro. It goes on the gravity. Is she hitting you? Well, oh, she hits a lot. So why is there only one person that she's so difficult? Because my cameras are proving otherwise. You understand? This is why I'm telling you, my brother, I encourage you for you to find yourself a good attorney and go about it like that, bro. So you could stop these people that are doing wrong, just nip them. You know what I'm saying? Because unfortunately, to everybody that's listening to me, this happens all around the world. In nursing homes, home care services that are negligent, you know what I'm saying? They don't do what they're supposed to do. And unfortunately, things like this do happen and they still happening. And the most saddest part is that people with Alzheimer's, a lot of them can't speak. All they
That's
could do
true.
is move their eyes. All they could do is move their hands. That's it. They a lot of them can't even put one and one together. They can't coordinate sentences. They can't speak. A lot of them. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of abuse does happen. These
Yeah.
situations do exist. These situations do happen. It's a fact, man. It's reality. Again, brother, like anybody from the chat is going through something like this, let us know. You can join us if you want to come up and basically talk to Gito about this with through one of your experiences and whatnot. You may do so. I will share the link if you ask for it. If you ask for the link, I will share it. Okay. And we're not going off topic. We strictly sticking to this topic because this is very important. You know what I'm saying? It really is. A lot of people suffer behind this. You know,
Yeah.
I get it. It's difficult, but the coordinators, sometimes they don't want to spend that extra money, knowing that the patient probably needs two people. So they start cutting corners. And then when they start cutting corners, the ones that suffer are you and I. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, brother. Anybody out there? Bada bing, bada bam. You know what I'm saying?
And that was the fourth, right? The fourth. She left because we was on her for doing her job. And she left and okay, she was supposed to go, she was supposed to do Friday last week, but she didn't. I told her not to show up. But that one left. Today is the fifth home attendant, which I didn't know nothing about. I didn't even know that the other
Wait,
one left.
but don't they call you and tell you, hey, listen, I'm sending such and such, and then when such and such comes at your door, do they show identification, brother?
Yeah, they showed the ID. They showed ID.
They do show
Uh,
ID.
yeah, they showed ID from the. I didn't know anything that there was gonna be a different home attendant starting today, and that she was gonna be the permanent.
That's unacceptable. You have to know, bro, because that's your concerns. You want to know who's your home attendant. That way you could try to build a relationship because that's important. Meaning that if anything happens, that home attendant will call you. You know what I'm saying? Making sure everything is all right.
And the woman that I spoke to, I mean, the one I was yelling at in the video, I had two conversations with her today. The first one was about that I didn't know nothing about that the home attendant left, and I didn't know about this supposedly permanent home attendant. But she was telling me that she called me, that I'm hard to reach. Um, and I told her about the previous one. I said, look, she left because at the end of the day she's lazy. She, when it comes to my mother, you have to work for your check, and that's what happened. We was on her, we was putting pressure on her to do her job, and that's why she left. Now this fifth one, right? Nancy again had to explain in details of what she has to do as a home attendant. While there's three papers in Spanish in detail on what the home attendant got to do. But for some reason, they don't fucking read. There's even they don't read. Excuse my language. And there's even a care plan on the fridge that tells what the home attendant has to do. But it's nothing. So Nancy stood there like maybe an hour explaining in detail. She didn't even know how to do coffee for my mother. So Nancy ended up doing coffee, which I didn't know.
What?
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I was taking a shower.
What else she didn't know how to do?
Nancy explained that when you gotta change the bed. What was it that she?
Yeah, she said I told her every time that you change it, you gotta change the covers, you gotta change your clothes.
But she responded what?
She said she went and she like did the eye thing like, oh, I have to change them, I have to change the bed every time, you know, like she didn't want to do it.
But this is the icing on the cake, right?
Wow.
She said this is the 5th home attendant from.
And again, what agency is this again?
All American agency.
There we go.
The 5th aide mentioned that she cannot mess with the product of Clorox because she's on her first day of having her period. So
okay, so is that day of the month for the female, and she can't use bleach because what?
It affects her, something like that, right?
That is, she's sensitive to the Clorox when she has a period.
Yeah.
Her first day is a period. Which I looked at, I'm like,
oh.
I've been raised by nothing but, you hear that? The Clorox affects her period, so she cannot mess with it.
Jesus.
And I've been raised with nothing but females. I didn't have a father figure.
We all know that's BS. That's not true, bro.
My mother would get a period. She would mess with Clorox. My sister would get a period. She would mess with Clorox.
So what else she didn't do?
Well, then I didn't know about that because Nancy told me later.
Okay.
When Nancy told me that, I grabbed the phone and I called the agency to speak to the coordinator. I called the phone. I mean, excuse me, I lose my word. I'm fucking pissed. I grabbed my phone and I immediately called the coordinator.
Okay.
To mention that.
Right.
About that the aide that's there in my mother's house cannot mess with Clorox because it affects her period. Why are you sending me aides that are lazy? Stop doing that. And her response is, how would I know that she was going to be like that? What are you talking about? You're the coordinator.
Wow. That means they just like I don't know, maybe they subbing their work or something with other agencies. I don't know. That don't sound right, bro. For sure.
Yeah, she's like, I wouldn't know that. How would I know that she was going to come out like that? I said, look, you're the coordinator. You're the one that sent this aide. Give me an aide that's going to do her job. That's all I want.
Yeah.
That's all I want. She's like, oh, what do you want me to do? I just told you that this aide saying that she can't mess with Clorox because it affects her period. What do you mean what you want me to do? Do your job as a coordinator and discipline this fucking aide because obviously she wants to cut corners. It does not affect. I never heard about Clorox affecting period. No. Never heard about that.
I've never heard of some crap like that, man. Anybody that wants to join the panel may do so. And then just ask me for the link. Go ahead, my brother.
Then it led to her saying the same thing what the other coordinator mentioned. Or I'm gonna contact, if there's a lot of complaints, I'm gonna contact the insurance to change the venue. I'm like, what? Are you threatening me? Are you saying that for me to stop giving complaints? That if I don't stop, you're gonna call basically my mother's insurance and change the agency? She's like,
wow, bro, get professional help. But go ahead, bro.
She said, I got a lot of files on this case that I could terminate. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, what do you mean you terminate? What, you gonna remove my mother from remove her services from All America? You can't do that. You can't do that. And then
Definitely.
it led to what you saw in the clip. I started yelling at her because she was unprofessional. She was talking to me like whatever, and she wasn't trying to resolve the issue that what I experienced with the home attendant today or in the
Right.
past. Because
Right.
she was also telling me that she didn't know nothing about what happened with the other aides, and that's a lie. I did so. She knew very well because I told her. She was just trying to wash her hands off. Oh, I don't know nothing. Stop putting words in my mouth. I felt like the conversation that I had I felt like I was in the street having a, you know.
Look,
And she just kept saying, "I'm gonna." Oh, yeah.
so guys, what I mean, you got suggestions for Gito? Cypher 730 has one for you, Gito.
Um.
He says, bro, make a complaint with the Better
Okay.
Business Bureau, aka BBB, so they have this on record. Yes, he is correct.
You know, Cyber 730. I have. This is not my first experience with this. Well, when it comes to having issues with the
Right.
agency and the aides, this has been happening for years, and I gave multiple complaints to my mother's insurance, and nothing has changed. Nothing changed. It stays the same. It's basically the home attendant could do whatever they want, and the agency don't do nothing. They just back them up. And I even took it as far as saw lawyers because there's other things. What I said on this stream alone is worse. It's
Right.
nothing. It's nothing. What I just mentioned is nothing compared to what I experienced before. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So I done that, but I'm gonna see it.
I shared the link there. This is the link for the Best Business Bureau for
Yeah,
that.
BB. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
gay complaints.
You have that? Okay. Just continue making. My advice again is for you to get a good lawyer and have the lawyer, I mean, do his thing. You know what I'm saying? And wow, man,
The
like this is just sad,
Yeah,
bro.
and I yelled at. It's messed up because the one that suffers is my mother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because she's not getting good service, and it's just crazy. After I yelled at the coordinator, I hung up the phone.
Right. Right.
Um, I went straight home. I told the
Right.
fifth aide, "You're off the case. Don't come back."
Right.
She's like, "Oh, I gotta call the coordinator, the one I just had an argument with."
Yeah,
And
you
she's telling
call
me,
whoever you want.
"Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, call. I want you out of here. I don't want." It's not what the coordinator. It's not what she says. It's what I
Yeah,
say.
it's what you want. You don't want them there.
She's in the side.
Yeah.
She's in the living room on the phone with the coordinator. Oh, that he wants me to leave. And that I cooked and clean. And
So you felt like they were trying to like I don't know like intimidate you like if you don't do this I'm gonna do that type thing, you know what I'm
with the
saying?
coordinators, yeah, with the coordinators, it seemed like they didn't want me to give a complaint.
Or more or less like if you do this I'm gonna do that, like stop giving
Oh,
complaints or now
yeah,
we're
like
gonna do this.
stop giving complaints, or I'm gonna call that they're gonna call my mother's insurance and change the agency because this is the second coordinator, and she told me the same thing as the first. And that's when they tell me that I get upset because they don't have no right to change jack
All
shit.
right, I'm gonna drop the link. Again, guys, we're gonna we stick strictly sticking to this topic. It's a very important, needed to talk about topic. My mother also has Alzheimer's. I do comprehend and understand what this man is going through. So, anybody that comes on the link, let's stick on the topic. Let's not use profound words for the simple reason we want this to be heard. We want everybody to understand that this is a growing problem. This is a problem that nobody's really looking at. And this problem really exists, regardless of what anybody says. It is the truth. You know what I mean? And just like Joyce is crazy with these pandemic, we have less workers who care because it seems to be just a job to these people. And a lot of people do see it as that, bro. They see it like a 9 to 5. They do their hours and they get out of there. In other words, they don't care for their job. They just care for that check, and it's a difference. And it's hard to find good people now, and that's understandable. But I feel that that should never be allowed. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
should never
yeah.
be allowed. Never. Like your
No.
mom to be with a diaper on for more than 10 hours, and then you trace it back on the floor. Like, what are we doing here? Then the home attendant telling you that she can't clean with bleach because you know it's the day of the month, and that really bothers her. Like, what? Come on, man. Are you
That
serious, dog? Like, come on.
she didn't wanna. It seemed like she didn't want to leave. She like keeps talking to the coordinator about it, and then she finished the conversation with the coordinator, and she had the audacity to confront me about what she said about that she couldn't mess with the Clorox. She's like, oh, but why the eight? This is the fifth eight. She's telling me, oh, why did you tell the agency about that? Oh, that makes you look bad. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're the one that's saying stuff that doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? You're the one that wants to cut corners, you know? Because obviously that's what she wants to do is cut corners. What female affects? Well, I never heard about Clorox affecting a female's period. You know, that's a lie. You know?
What other excuses these people have given you? What are other ones? We already got 2 so far that I could recall that are like crazy. Which other ones?
No, it was shit.
My chest.
I don't. Like,
Those are the major ones, and basically them going back and forth with you.
it's overall.
I got you. It's basically they're not giving you the services needed, indeed, for your mom with her condition.
Yeah, it's just the same. Yeah, it's overall the same.
When these people come to your house, do they look like they want to work, or they look like they just want to leave?
Yeah, they don't wanna. Once they find out that my mother suffers for Alzheimer's and they know that they gotta work for the check, that's when the problem starts. That's when it starts because they don't wanna. It's like, their goal, the home attendant, like I mentioned in my streams, the goal of the home attendant here in New York City is to get paid to do nothing. Once it's with my mother, you gotta pay. You gotta work for that.
That's
check.
a big check, and that's a big check that they get.
Yeah, it's 50 hours, and whatever the aides gets paid, you know.
What they working 50 hours? You said they're working 10 hours a day, right?
Actually, I had 70 hours.
Wow.
And I had to remove the weekend because of all this bull of these, agencies and these aides not doing their job. So
That's crazy.
yeah, and then when she's like confronting me about it, oh, why you told the aide? I mean, why did you tell the coordinator that about the period thing? You making me look bad. Like,
7:30.
You made yourself look
you
good.
made yourself look bad. You're the one that wants to cut corners.
So Gito, we got 7:30 here. How you doing? 7:30. You got any
7:30?
opinions on this, or have you have any experiences or seen any experiences with healthcare providers that are negligent and basically not, holding their end of the bargain when it comes to taking care of the human life? You can hear me? 7:30.
I gotta get used to something.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
7:30. What's going on, my brother?
Yo, what's going on, Papi? You already know, Gito, Nancy. You know what I mean? That's my brother and sister over there. You already know. What I want, if you could hear me, guys, right? You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, my brother.
All right, sorry
We're trying
to
to make
ask the
this
same question.
impactful, brother.
Exactly. It's a new format looking at your stream. That's why I'm asking those questions. But yeah, like factually, I talk to Gito about this all the time. Like, he's got good evidence with his videos and his calls. I've told him to keep documented records, and he has. It's to Boyo's point. We need to start making them be accountable. So, first of all, they can't be throwing around threats about picking another agency. I mean, do me the favor and do that shit. I mean, you saw. So if your threat is I'm gonna call your insurance so they can
That's what
change
I
your
saw.
agency, You just saved me a phone call, you dumb person. You know what I mean? Like, thank you. Number one. Number two, I said the Better Business Bureau from a perspective of when you make complaints there, it's public, and when other people research this situation, they can see that they're not alone. And it builds up a reputation on the Better Business Bureau, a rating of A, B, C, of how good the agencies are. And I think it's highly worth your time to hate on them legitimately on that platform, because that platform covers all industries, but it's a review platform. It's like a Yelp for business. So complain about this specific agency on the Better Business Bureau website. You know what I mean? And file complaints. You can upload evidence. You can upload communications. You can make a stronger case. This also gives you a track record with the company that you have been reporting them. You know what I mean? If anything goes further, or they want to take legal action, if you want to, you have the ability to prove that this is not all of a sudden you're complaining, like she said on the phone. You've been had a history with them, but it's good to have documented history, Bobby, other than like a notepad, other than voice and video that you keep. You need a public record. So the Better Business Bureau, go at them there. So it's a public record. And then absolutely spam their website with the contact us and try to reach out to someone in management. Because this is just a low totem pole person you're dealing with. That doesn't know how to be professional, is not doing their job. Absolutely, the job of the coordinator is to vet this person. I understand her point of view. What do you want me to say? I wouldn't expect her to say that about Clorox. Fine, but her job is not to be, oh, I'm stupid, like I don't know what's going on either. Her job is to coordinate. So she should have been like, all right, I'm sorry, that is a situation that I did not expect, sir, and I was not informed of, but I will send a replacement. Because you still need things done in the house that requires Clorox. So I will send a replacement, and I will deal with the coordinator. You can tell the coordinator to leave. That's how simple that conversation should have went.
She was like,
with the coordinator. Right,
Yeah,
bro?
so
Like,
Saeed is asking if you would
Yeah.
change the agencies.
Oh, it's done. You gotta change it.
Yeah, so when she left, I'm gonna change the agency, but the thing is that that's not the solution. This is like the fifth or maybe
It's an
sixth
industry
agency.
problem. It's an industry problem.
Yeah, it's gonna continue.
And to your point, Gito, definitely don't let them off the hook though. That's why I want the Better Business Bureau shit. I want to get them with the scarlet letter they deserve, because you're a real person with real problems that need to be heard. And there's everyone out there dealing with this. I swear, if you really think about we're going into our older ages, how is this not a universal concern? The healthcare of the elderly. Like, how is this not a universal concern? Even if your family's well blessed and healthy and old age, but you cannot say you don't feel for our situations. And I say our because my mother, before she stopped working, she was a home health aide, and she used to say how difficult it was for me to be an advocate for them also. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Yeah.
Like, there's some good ones out there. Absolutely. And my mother would be like, it was difficult to see how the lack of family involvement with the healthcare situation, being a home health aide. And, sometimes it gets overwhelming because you just don't be a home health aide. You're becoming their family. That's the other aspect I heard about, you know what I mean? Through my mother working in that industry and stuff like that. Like, they used to get upset when you wouldn't come to work just because, like, it was their family not visiting. That's how close this bond can be with a home health aide and a client. So it was even more crucial for them to show respect to the craft that they took on themselves. So absolutely, we're not shitting on a home health aide like as a career. We're shitting on those who abuse it where there's lack of checks and balances. There needs to be a review process. There needs to be a way that complaints get escalated so there's actionable consequences for misbehavior. Am I making sense? I don't know.
You're making sense. No, you're making sense on 7:30. It's kind of,
you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. I know, right, Papi? You already know, bro. You already know, Gito. But you know what I mean? Like, that's my opinion on that. It's just like everyone who's going through a similar situation Please use Better Business Bureau. Please use any kind of form of review of that facility, and go at them. You have a right of freedom of speech to complain about your services that have not been rendered. And this is home healthcare. This is serious. You're not alone. But I don't want you guys to feel frustrated and give up because you make complaints and you see nothing happen. Go through public venues to complain. Get it documented so other people hear you, and it's not just you and a cell phone or whatever, a call number to the company. Go hard with emails because emails is documented. Don't just do phone calls, guys. Like, go to these companies' websites and send emails so you have a date and a time that you did a complaint for any legal processes going forward.
Frank, you in New York too, right?
Oh, facts.
Right now, our brother Saeed is saying New York is not far. I'll go in March or anything to help Guito and Nancy. Me and Pollo go together. We'll talk. I'm here for you guys. Mean that. So basically,
Saeed, my brother's, going through his own health issues, and yet he's willing to do that. That's why he's a true brother. That's why he's a true brother. And Zaid, all I could say is check these places' websites and maybe just send an email. Just send an email that you're concerned.
You got our brother Joey in the house.
Oh shit! Yeah, I can't even see with this video stuff. Yo, what's up?
What's going on? You guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, my brother. How you been, my brother?
Yeah, I can't see nothing, but I hear you guys.
Yeah, what's up, no, I agree. I want to agree with everything Frank said. From a standpoint of getting a recourse, right, in a situation. But at the same time, I heard Guito talking about leaving the city. That's your number one thing to do, because the work pool, okay, the people that are being hired for these jobs are really these are like entry level positions. You understand? Like you get on the job training. They get like 30-something thousand a year to live in New York. You heard? So getting out of the city, that's number one. Why? Because the class of worker is going to go up. Why? Because the income for the worker goes up. You see what I'm saying? So I'll give you an example. I told Guito once about a nightmare situation I had in a nursing home. The reason why I had that nightmare was because I chose a nursing home in Perth Amboy, which is an inner city. If I had chosen, and the reason I went there was because of, Hispanic food, blah, 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 blah. If I had stayed in my neighborhood and went to a care facility in this neighborhood, it would have been a little bit higher of care. Now, is it ever going to be what we want? No, for the same reason. These people hardly make any money, so they just don't care. You know how a car mechanic, after a while, they've been, and same thing happens with doctors too. Like, you could tell, when a doctor's burned out, you could tell, because he doesn't let you talk. He don't even let you tell him what the problem is. Like, right away they want to, here's what you got. Here's a script. All right, next. You know what I mean? You're waiting in the waiting room for an hour. He gives you 5 minutes. So all that to say, you're always going to have to be looking over their shoulders. You're always going to have to be in their grill. And you're always going to be disappointed. Number one, nobody's going to care for ourselves or our loved ones like we will. It takes a special person to, build bridges with a person who's ill and be compassionate to a stranger that, you know what I mean? That takes special people. And at one time, we had a lot of people like that, in the country. But today it's a big money grab that's going on, and most of these folks just want to punch their clock and get that check. They don't care. You understand? It's like bro, it's like Mickey D jobs, bro. I hate to put it there, but that's really where it's at. If you're in the city making 30,
it becomes mechanical. They don't have the emotional, mental to it. It becomes mechanical.
Yes, the drive-through is always going to the drive-through will always mess up your order, because, as a matter of fact, Some of them mess it up on purpose, I believe, because I go to
Just to
some
switch it up.
where they
Just to
always
switch
got
it up,
it.
they'll do it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right?
this is crazy, bro. But yo, the healthcare system is becoming real bad.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely
It's terrible,
right, man.
man.
It is terrible. But yeah, it's like what Joy says. Maybe that is your solution, brother, to move
Yeah,
to
get
That's
out
another
what
of
I'm
New York.
state
thinking.
or anything.
I'm thinking of
But
moving
Bobby,
out.
what I would say is there's an exhaustive amount of agencies out there doing the same job. You have choices, Papa. Insurance is a powerful thing. That's basically a check. So if your insurance accepts multiple agencies, it's worth doing like a checklist
Here,
and going
let me
through
give you
all of them.
another
Go through
let
all
me
of them.
let me
All
give you
American is not the only one. Yeah,
another
go
little
ahead.
situation that comes up, Frank, and that's this,
Yeah.
right? They have hardly anybody wants to do that type of job, especially now more than ever, because it's,
Yeah.
especially they probably gonna be anti-vax. They
Yeah.
probably gonna be not
That's the
wanting it,
thing. That's the
and
thing.
to them it's like, oh, it's a risk and blah blah. Look, let me give you an analogy, right? Which is going on in the trucking industry, in the driving industry, period. Ever since Uber came out and all of these driving apps came out, all of these companies and corporations aren't making any money. So what's happening is that if you have a truck driver, that truck driver can get into an accident tomorrow, probably come up questionable on whether he was asleep or whether he had a few drinks. And you know what? They might still not fire him because they need him to deliver another load. And that's another problem that's going on in the healthcare industry, where you got all these home healthcare workers who there's few of them, and then the agencies are like, okay, well, we'll just take her out and send you another one, but they don't get rid of the bad one. They just send that bad
No,
one over to somebody else's house.
exactly. That's what happens. It
True.
They
continues.
are
But that's
body
the
shop.
beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing with Gito's situation because he's passionate, because he cares for his mother, and in a lot of situations, people who have home health aides, their family disconnect. They just be like, okay,
True.
problem solved,
Facts.
problem solved, and they go through it. They don't maintenance them. The beautiful thing is Gito is fully immersed in his
Oh yeah,
situation
bro.
and
Kidding
her
me?
health situation. So with
Yeah,
that
He
yeah.
might
is
not
that
notice
I don't
if he
want you to
wasn't
feel
paying
defeated.
attention.
I don't want you to feel like your voice not getting heard because you're just getting one bad person after another. At the end of the day, fuck it, Papi. It's an assembly line, and you're gonna go through them and treat them like that until they get a respectful one. But you don't give up. And I say that from a perspective because I know you're not, and I know you personally. Like all I'm saying is this is disheartening, and I don't want you to lose hope. And I want you to